no one will show up. Then you speak it. But many of us, we bring our own television, and we know where to focus your cameras. Then we beam home. I say, look, the president is speaking to the world, but no one is actually listening. And many of the seats are empty. But in ASEAN, it's smaller. Yeah, they know who is not sitting there. They know who is missing, and they take note. They are taking note right now. You know, whether we are attending all these meetings as foreign. So tremendous challenges. I see the 6 points there, which I share completely. But here I want to talk about some of the one personal experience. In February 2003, I was in Geneva. I was foreign minister for the UN Human Rights Commission. The great Sergio Vieira de Mello, who had been Special Representative Secretary General here, he had been appointed High Commissioner for Human Rights. One Saturday morning, he and I alone in a cafe in the Vieille Ville, all part of Geneva, over many coffees and croissants, we chat. He asked my opinion. How would he act? Some advice, share some experience with him in his new job as High Commissioner for Human Rights. I told Sergio Vieira de Mello the following. Sergio, you are the Secretary General of the UN, does not commend the largest economy of the world. He doesn't commend the 6th or the 7th fleet. You, even less. You have less power. Your better power, best, is that you serve as a bridge between regimes, governments, leaders in a country, and the people you seek to protect. I come from a background that I use a lot of megaphone in the past, But also I learn, and sometimes I criticize countries that were silent, publicly silent, but behind the scenes they were pushing issues. And I knew people who were doing that. And then I changed a bit of my tune, that understand in the defense of human rights, protection of some individuals. And I told Sergio, what would be better for you, more important? That you make a grand speech denouncing a particular situation, or you silently, quietly go to the capital and seek to save the life of someone in death row who is to be executed. Well, let me tell you one experience of mine. In 97, before Timor-Leste became independent, I was somewhere in Europe during my travels in Europe campaigning. I got a call from a friend in UNICEF in Colombia. He said, we need, there are 15 hostages, all girls, teenagers, kidnapped by ELN, and they refuse to free them. Of course, ELN, like FARC, they kidnap for ransom. They say, but we have information they're willing to talk with you, and only with you. So I went to Colombia. To make the story short, it lasted several weeks. I even went to high security prison where 2 political leaders, they were the ones in charge. They were there. The military allowed me, gave me facilities, negotiating between the prison and the mountains where the hostage is being held, etc. went to the prison around 2 in the afternoon. I left 9 p.m. with an agreement. On the next day, I went to the mountain by helicopter and got the horses up. I'm simplifying, but when I start talking with the two priests, and the two gentlemen were priests, Jesuit priests, and they're both still alive, and one no longer active, the other one still with ELN. And I told them, listen, I'm not an American, I'm not German, I'm not Dutch, and you know what that means. I don't have any money. No one is behind me, just me. So I'm not going to pay you anything. And well, but what happened? Of course they released them, I didn't pay a cent. They were all released. Well, sometimes empathy, the power of persuasion, and when the other side, the kidnapper, they had no way out because the government refused to pay ransom. So what they went, I told them, what are you going to do? Kill these kids? I don't think you will. And the reason you wanted to talk with me because you believe I can offer you a way out of this dilemma. So they were really. This is only to say in defense of sometimes the discreet approach that we sometimes criticize of ASEAN handling of certain situations. We don't know what they are doing, what they are attempting to do. Very difficult situation. But yes, it doesn't mean civil society are also going to play quiet diplomacy. No, yes, you scream, shout, write, do petitions, to push the to take action, whether domestically or internationally. When we talk about people's-led, I talk about people-centered. People in Timor-Leste and anywhere in ASEAN, anywhere in the world, should be at the center of everything we do for the betterment of the people. And the betterment of the people, first, give them peace, tranquility, security. That is the best. I tell you, dear friends, I have seen wars in this country. I've seen families, I've seen around the world, and to the extent possible, let's prevent wars. To the extent possible, let's talk. No preconditions. When you want to end a war, start talking, no preconditions. Get together. Under whoever's mediation, the Pope, ASEAN, for the case of Myanmar, and talk and explore possibilities of peace. So, Timor-Leste, we are, 22 years later, full-fledged democracy. Sometimes I wonder whether the assessment they made of Timor-Leste as a great democracy is really correct. Just look at our parliament and the slowness of us doing things. Well, if this is democracy, well, I prefer some other styles of government. But we have a very free media, and we are rated, we are rated better than many Western countries. I don't mention names, but I already offered to some of the Western friends, because they always help us over the years, and we never help them. So I've been looking at sending some of our media people to some of these Western countries to help them improve their free media ranking. And we are rated number one in democracy in Southeast Asia. For this, I apologize from A to Z among the ASEAN countries. It was not us who rated out number one. But even so, I would say, God, someone must have done their studies wrong. I just don't believe that. And that is not false modesty. It means only that democracy is still work in progress, with setbacks, with imperfections, and we must continue to cherish, to preserve democracy. Because democracy means what? Absolute freedom of the individuals. But democracy cannot be only political freedom. What is the point of a democracy if we have a government, one after another, government that don't deliver better to the people? God, a democracy is just an oral exercise, regular voting, speeches, maybe free speeches, and then don't deliver to the people. Well, when democracy don't deliver, that's when you have demagogues emerging. Demagogues from the right and demagogues from the left. And none of them ever offer solutions. We know through history. They offer conflicts, wars. So, I hope that my country, our country, Timor-Leste, A, we continue to live in peace, tranquility, tolerance. B, that we do better for the health, the well-being of the people. While living in freedom, they live also better. Better health, better education. That's the real essence, the real meaning or purpose of democracy. Thank you, all of you, for taking the time to come to Timor-Leste.